He was my dad. Hey boos! Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to go very deep into my heart, and I'm going to be talking about the most important man in my life and how I lost him, how I dealt with everything, and I'm just going to share some stories that I have never told anybody. But I feel like since I'm back in Canada after so many years, I want to share this story, and I'm ready to tell the story. As a few of my good friends already know, my dad passed away. He passed away when I was 7 years old. That's basically all everybody knows. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about how my experience is different from other people's experiences. Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to not tear up during the video. In my heart, my dad's always watching over me, and I feel like he's also watching me film this video. So when I was like 5 years old, 6 years old, I knew that my dad had cancer. Mom wouldn't hide it. It's not something that's hidden from me. Even though I was really young, I knew that he had cancer. But the thing is, at the time, I didn't know the concept of what cancer is. I thought it was like, for the 5-year-old, 6-year-old me, I thought cancer was just something that you have, like not necessarily a sickness in my mind. It was more like for example, I have a birthmark. I feel like, okay, dad has cancer. It's completely different, I know, but at the time, that's all I thought of it. I didn't know that that cancer could cause death. I didn't know that my dad was going through so much in his body, and he might have been feeling a lot of pain that he never showed in front of me. At the time, my mom was in Taiwan. Me, my dad, and my brother were here, and my dad would take care of us, and my mom was in Taiwan. She was working. When I was almost 7, one day when I came home from school, because school was really close to where we used to live, I would always just walk to school in the morning by myself, and then sometimes dad would pick me up. Other times I would just walk home because it's really, really close. I remember very clearly that when I came home, dad wasn't there. And a family friend, an auntie, she told me that dad was in the hospital. He would be back in like a few weeks. She also told me that mom is coming back early. Mom, she's always coming back and forth from Taiwan and Canada each 4 months. So she comes back to Canada for like 5 days, 6 days, and then she goes back to Taiwan for a few months. Ever since I grew up, it was like that. That was how it always was. Mom would just come back and forth. The day that my auntie told me that mom was coming home early, I was so happy because it was just like 2-3 months in, and mom is coming back early. I was so excited. I was excited for mom to come back. I was excited for dad to come out of the hospital, and then we would all go out. I was just really, really happy. And then after 1 day or 2 days, mom came back. That day we went to get something to eat. She told me that everything's gonna be okay. And at night when we were going to sleep, we had the lights turned off, like a little lamp light, because I was scared of the dark. I was sleeping with my mom, and my mom just randomly asked me, what would you do if your dad died? And at the moment, the 7-year-old me didn't think much of it. All I thought is, I don't know. So I said, I don't know. I didn't think that she was asking because of any reason. I think she's just asking. She paused for, I would say, like 10 seconds, and she said, dad died. I remember not being able to think, but my tears just pouring out. I was crying and crying, and it was the first time that I cried myself to sleep. I couldn't remember anything. All I remember is crying, and then I fell asleep. And then the other day, when I woke up, I remembered, oh yeah, that's the thing. My dad died. But 7-year-old me did not understand the concept of dying. Like, you don't understand when you're such a young age. You just, okay, my dad died. But in your heart, you just feel like he's gonna be back. Like, just wait, he's gonna be back. So in the morning, my mom asked me if I still wanted to go to school today. Like, I could choose to not go to school. But I said, yeah, I want to go to school, of course. I didn't think much of it. I just wanted to go to school. So I'm that kind of kid that's always first or second that arrives at school. So I got there first, and there was this other little girl called Emily in our class, and I remember wanting to share this, but not with everybody. I just thought that I wanted to tell this to somebody. So she said good morning, and I said good morning back, and I said, something happened yesterday. My dad died. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. And I said, oh, it's fine. I didn't understand that much. I just thought, oh, I shared something. Well, what I forgot about is that Emily girl is pretty gossipy. Like, even though we're just 7, she likes to gossip about a lot of things. Classmates started coming into the classroom. I started hearing stuff. People, like other classmates, other kids would come to me and say, Emily said your dad died. Did your dad really die? And I'm like, yeah. When the first person came to ask me this, I didn't feel too much. But then I feel like everybody's looking at me. It felt so weird. And then somebody asked me again. I said yes, and I started to cry. I don't know why. Okay, I'm just telling you guys what I felt at the time. The teacher came and she started talking to me, and then she called my mom, and my mom came to pick me up, and I had the day off. I still didn't understand why I cried. I still didn't understand the concept of dying. I still couldn't understand any of it. It just happened. So after that, the school started bringing in not the counselor. I know she's not the counselor in our school, like a psychiatrist or something into the school, like twice a week, just to have sessions with me. Like, I would be taken out of class into this room that had a big sandbox inside, and a bunch of toys, boys' toys, and the counselor would always ask me to do anything I want with it. I was 7, but I wasn't stupid. Of course I knew that she wanted to see how my mental health is. So I just gave her what she wanted. I made a little castle. I made, like, this side is the other castle where the prince is, and this is where the princess is. In the middle there's a river. I told her a story that she wanted to hear. I told her various stories throughout the half a year or 1 year sessions. I told her so many stories that I knew that was going to make me a healthy little kid. Not to say that I wasn't, but I still didn't understand what was happening. I'm just not stupid. So one time she asked me, who's taking care of you? Well, my mom, now that my dad passed away, she has to work to raise me and my brother. So she went back to Taiwan, and she hired a housekeeper that takes care of me and my brother. But at the time, the housekeeper she comes to cook and put us to sleep, and then she leaves. And in the morning, she comes again to bring breakfast or make breakfast. Yeah, I just told her this story, and then at the time, I really did not know that this should not be happening. Because I was 7, my brother was 14, and I think by the law or something, you have to have an adult in the house all the time. And I told her this. I guess this became a big thing, and I was almost taken away by the government or something, because there was nobody there. My mom didn't have any other choice but to come back, and then my brother was taken care of by my aunt, and I was brought back to Taiwan with her. After I came back to Taiwan, which of course I was here from 1 to 4 years old to 7 or 8 years old. I was in Canada. After my dad died and that happened, I was brought back to Taiwan, and I grew up in Taiwan ever since. Ever since last year, I graduated and I came back. After I went back to Taiwan, coping with my dad's death was alright. Like I didn't feel much, mainly because I feel like unconsciously I've always thought that he would come back. You know that death means that this person is dead and there's no life, but you don't know whether or not the life will come back. Like for me, I've always thought that life could come back someday. A few years after I went back to Taiwan, for those 7 or 8 years, like before I was 14, those years, I would say it's just like the normal kid that lost a mom or a dad. We go through those awkward my hero, my dad, my Superman type of writing assignments that we always have to write. And those times where people ask you like, oh, what does your dad do on the first day or second day that they meet you? And I feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for myself because I'm used to it. But I feel bad for them because they asked, I have to reply, and after I answer, they'll feel like they have to feel bad for me, which I don't even feel bad for myself. It was just a normal phase that kids that have only one single parent have to go through, so that's nothing special. So there were 2 moments in my life where something clicked in my head and I realized that some things are just not coming back. One of them was when I was 14. It was really weird that one night I would just randomly thought of my dad, and I suddenly just understood that he's never coming back. And I was so terrified that my memories of him would disappear. I would constantly remind myself every single day, like go through all the memories that I had with him just so I wouldn't forget. I was terrified of forgetting because I have the memory of a fish. The other moment that hit me hard was when I was 19. So when I was 14, I understood that he's not coming back. But when I was 19 was when I started to mourn. I'm sorry, I don't know why. It's so late. He passed away when I was 7 and I start mourning at 19. It's just like, because I had to deal with so many other things during my childhood, I didn't have time to actually be sad about this thing. In that one night, or maybe 2 nights, I just started crying my eyes out, like bawling like crazy for a whole night. I remember I used up like two boxes of tissue paper, but after those 2 days, something was different. I understood that he is always going to be looking after me. I didn't feel so much pain because I was used to it. I was done with my mourning, so now he's just always in my heart. Well, fast forward to last year, July 6th was when I came back to Canada after 16 years. Within the first month, I remember me and my mom and my brother, we went to where my dad's ashes were kept. He was cremated. It was the same place where I remember over 16 years ago. I still remember when I was small. After my mom told me my dad died, there was a period where I couldn't see my dad, right? I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't get to say anything. So before the day that he was cremated, I remember at school we made 2 doves. I made 2, and it's supposed to have one for mom and one for dad. And one of them I actually broke the wing. At the moment, because my dad is usually always with me and my mom's the one that's usually away, so I would miss mom more, right? And she's a mom. You love your moms. I just didn't think that much, and I wanted to give the one that had a broken wing to my dad. So mom told me, if you want to take it, you can take it to the let's just say it's the funeral place, okay? I brought it, and then we got there. I was so excited because I see a coffin and I know that my dad's inside. Like, we were taking turns to go next to him and talk to him, and I knew that I was gonna get to see him again. So after my grandma, and it was me and my mom and my brother's turn, I didn't really notice what they were doing or how they were feeling. I was just excited to see Dad, and I saw him. He was my dad, but he looked really different. He had no color, no blood color in his lips. They were pale white. He was darker than I remembered. He was wearing his favorite jacket. I wanted to put the dove in his hands, but Mom said, when somebody passes away, you have to, and you want to give them something, you have to put it next to them, or if you put it on them, they'll become that thing that you gave them. I didn't want my dad to be a dove, so I put it next to him. And then that was the last time that I saw him. It's so weird talking about like every little detail. Okay, fast forward. So last year when I came back, we went there again. It was so weird stepping back into that place that I remember so clearly, that my mom thought I completely forget, but I remember where the washroom is, I would remember what room is, I remember the chair that we used to sit on, I remember every little thing about that place. After so many years, I finally get to see my dad again, even though he was ashes. But for me, because I was always in Taiwan, even in my darkest times, I could not talk to him. I feel like there's not even a thing for me to talk to. There were only memories from when I was really small, but they were good ones. That day that I stepped back into that room, I had so much that I wanted to tell him, because he missed so much of my life. I couldn't come up with any words, any specific words. So I told him I missed him. I told him that I'm back and I'm okay, and Mom's okay, and my brother's okay. And even though right now isn't the best time of my life, and I just left my most dearest friends and family in Taiwan, but I'm happy that I get to see him. And not one person in my family, my mom, my brother, and me, or my dad, not one of us has gone through an easy life. It wasn't even remotely close to being easy. But we're okay, and that's what matters right now. This part I want to talk to my dad. I feel like even though he's in heaven, he'll be able to see this video. Hey Dad, I'm not going to be faking anything. Who am I kidding if I were to say that I'm fine without you? I'm not, but that's okay. Like, being not okay is okay. Dad, I wish I could run back home from school and see you playing the computer or poker like always. I wish I could go with you to the little shop that we would always go to, and you would just order a drink and start reading a book. Because we go there so much, we know the clerk. There would be a little shelf, and I would always be there reading a comic, and Dad would just be on the seat reading a book. And I just remember we spent a lot of days doing this. It was our thing. I wish I could tell you when I first met my best friend. I wish I could tell you when I met my first love. I wish I could share with you all the adventures that I had, all the people that I met, all the things I got to do. I wish I could give you all the hugs and kisses that I owe you. I want to say I'm sorry, Dad. I want to say I'm sorry because I remember that before you passed away, before that day that they said you were at the hospital, I remember you would always want a hug randomly and want me to kiss you on the cheek. And for some reason, Maybe because I grew up a little bit. I was 7. I didn't want to kiss you that much. So I would always give you a hug and then just like sort of kiss you. And one time, I remember this so clearly. You brought me to this restaurant that our family friend opened, and that day was closed, but we were there just talking. You were talking to that friend, and in the middle there was this dancing stage, and there was nobody in the restaurant, and the lights were closed, and my dad's friend, he had to do a little bit of documents and then come back. It was just me and my dad. There was no music. But he asked me to dance with him. And I just kept saying no. And then he pulled me and dragged me to the dance floor and wanted to dance. But I was just... I kept saying no and kept pushing him away. I'm so sorry. If there was one thing, I never regret anything in my life. But that is the only thing I regret, is not dancing with you when I could. But I want you to know that I don't blame you for any of the misfortune of my childhood. I know it's not your fault and it's nobody's fault. It's just my life and I have to deal with it. In the end, I want to tell you, I love you, Daddy. I miss you so much. And I love you so much. And if there is a next lifetime, please be my dad again. I want to give you all the hugs and kisses and love that we didn't get to share in this lifetime. I want to dance with you. And I want you to see me grow up. I want you to see me get married. I want you to see me have children. I want to give you and Mom the best life that I can. Thank you for bringing me into this world. Thank you for giving me the best memories of you. Thank you for loving me for the time that you could. I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh my god. I wore eyeshadow so I wouldn't cry, and now my eyeshadow's all fucked up. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for listening to my story about me and the most important man in my life. I really care about my subscribers, and I want to share the most real me and the most genuine me, and I never want to fake anything. I wanted to share my stories and my heart with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you can give me some support by sharing my video and giving it a big thumbs up, and comment down below if you have ever experienced something like this. I would love to hear your stories. Remember to subscribe, turn on the notification, and yeah, I love you guys too, okay? Bye bye. They tickle the pizza my soul. You made me go.